Hello, folks. Good evening. Welcome to the 67th episode of the Matias Sports Podcast. I have MassLive sports reporter Lauren Campbell. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. This is my first female guest, I should say. So this is great,
I'm
to branch.
honored.
Yeah, no problem. To branch off to the female guests or the females in the industry that do well, reporters, writers, people all over the place. So feel free. The floor is yours. Just explain your career.
Yeah, so I'm at MassLive right now. I'm their trending reporter, which means I cover a little bit of everything. So every day is different, which is, I feel like that's kind of what this business is. I do have a focus on the Bruins. I do a lot of Bruins coverage with their practices, their games, and a little bit of everything in between. Obviously, right now, really heavy on Patriots. In case you haven't heard, there's the AFC Championship game.
Is that
So
this weekend?
yeah, that's this weekend. So it's been a lot of fun to cover a good Patriots team. It's, first world problems, but it's been a couple years since they've been good.
hmm
I've been in this business now almost 11 years, which is crazy to think about. I went to school for journalism. I was an English major with a concentration in journalism, went to Framingham State. They still have a very, very good student-run newspaper. It wins awards every year. So that's what drew me there. Um, and it was super close to home. So that's always a plus. And I was on the newspaper there for my time at Framingham. I blogged a lot after I graduated. I did have a job right after college, but I did not like it. It was still in the journalism field, but it was writing about technology, which I know nothing about. I'm not passionate about it. And I just I don't care what speakers are better for your space. And if that's your niche, that's fantastic. I envy you. It was not anything that I wanted to do. Um, so I just blogged. I blogged for my friends. I blogged any place that would take me. And I started my career with CLNS. And when I was there, they were like not strictly Celtics, but that's kind of where their focus
Yep.
was. They've grown so much since I've been
hmm
there. I was there for 3 years. Then I got hired at NESN, and I was there for 5 years, kind of in a very similar role to what I do at MassLive. Um, just a lot of trending sports, a lot of on-site coverage of the Boston sports teams. My first year at NESN was 2018, so it was the Red Sox World Series. A
hmm
few months after that was Patriots Super Bowl, and then it was the Bruins in the Stanley Cup Final. The Celtics are making a deep playoff run too. So it just being thrown to the wolves, and that's the way to do it, and that's kind of how it is in Boston. So it was a long road to get there because it did take me like um six years to finish undergrad. I took a very, very different approach, just very part-time and a couple breaks here and there, and like I said, a lot of blogging. I think I blogged for about 3 years before I full-time got into this. So it was, like I said, a long road, but it's obviously been worth it. And it's so fun. Like I said earlier, every day is different, and it's kind of like that organized chaos that makes the job fun every single day. And sometimes it's very unorganized. You have no idea. Rafael Devers could get traded on a random Saturday.
Yep, that's
So
what happened.
you never know what any day could bring.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's a pretty good career. I mean, 11-year run and continuing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I know the journalism field's been up and down. I mean, I've had experience blogging and stuff, and I know you don't start at NESN, you don't start at these big papers, you start at the smaller schools and stuff like that. But what's been basically the biggest transition for you between CLNS to NESN and now to Mass Live? Because here and there, I'll talk to Chris Cotillo, I'll text him this and that. Super nice guy, super
Yeah.
great guy, loves the Red Sox. I mean, I love the Red Sox too. But yeah, what was like basically the biggest transition between those three organizations or those three media outlets, really?
I think just kind of trying to kind of figure out like what I want my role to be.
hmm
Um, with CLNS, I felt like it was very, you could be a fan. Like you could be a
Yep.
fan and a reporter. And I know there's always conversation about can you be both? Can you really be a Celtics fan and be a Celtics reporter at the same time? So I think it was a lot of that. And at Nesson, there was a lot of I don't want to say restrictions, but because the ownership is John Henry,
hmm
I don't think anyone should really go on and write like, oh my God, like the Red Sox suck, blah 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 blah. Like there were limits.
Yeah.
And you could go as close to the line as possible, but you could never cross it. Um, and now when I've been with MassLive for almost 3 years, and there's not those kinds of restrictions. I mean, we're still not going on about the Red Sox stink, they don't spend money, blah blah blah. But there's there's still a line, but like the line is farther.
Hmm.
So it's kind of trying to figure out that line of where every outlet in every company is different. And that's fine. Everyone's going to have their rules, everyone's going to have their guidelines, and everyone's going to want to have, those ethics that their journalists follow. Um, and it's just kind of like, okay, where do I fit and how do I want to build and evolve this role? Because journalism, it's up and down, like you said, and it's
It is.
always changing, it's always evolving. So it's evolving with it so you don't get left behind. And sometimes that's hard because when it's a lot of stuff is on TikTok or Instagram Reels,
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, I'm not good at either of those things, but
Yeah.
you're gonna try, you're gonna learn, and it's just being adaptive, and it's like I said, evolving with the field, so you don't get left in the dust and you're like, we need someone who can do more than just write. We need someone who can podcast. We need someone who can do multimedia, produce those podcasts. So it's a lot evolving, and I think that's a challenge every time the field shifts is how
Hmm.
do I evolve with it?
No, absolutely. And it just, what like good advice would you give the younger generation, if they're in their 20s starting off? Like, it's hard to get, like I said, a job at Mass Live, working at the Herald, unless you're doing a lot of high school stuff. What is the key to these young kids, girls, boys, whoever it is, that want to stay in this industry and that want to produce articles and content? And what are these industries really looking for that you can just go across the multimedia?
Yeah, I would say too, not everyone needs to start at high school, but
Hmm.
if you do have an opportunity, if that is an opportunity that comes your way that you either search for, or you can get into it. There's no shame in that. High school coverage is so important and it really teaches you so much
Yeah.
about going into professional sports. It's the parents love it, the students love it. Like it's very fulfilling journalism, and I would hope that if you are an aspiring sports writer for the any professional team that you don't turn away from a high school position just because it's not professional sports. It's a great way to get in the door and make connections even at the high school level, and then potentially fill in here and there for professional on the professional beats. But especially too, and it's very cliche, but don't give up. It's very
Yeah.
difficult to be completely transparent. It's very difficult to get started in this business, but it can get very hard and you can get down on yourself. But it's very important to just kind of not, and again, it's cliche, it's easier said than done, but I've been there. I've heard the no's, I've seen the rejection emails. I've been there and it's like, okay, like when will it be my turn?
Hmm.
And you just need to keep just reminding yourself that this is what you want to do. There's a reason that you want to do it. You're good at it. If you can blog, I know it's not, I don't think anyone should work for free, but if you
Yeah.
can blog, whether it's your own blog or blogging for someone else, just do it on your own time, just to keep yourself fresh. And connections are really important. Don't be afraid to network. Um, I've never really met anyone that's turned down
Yeah.
trying to help.
Yep.
Um, and you never know how that person can help you down the road. Even just a small LinkedIn message, Twitter message, email can go a long way. You just want to introduce yourself,
Hmm.
who you are, where you've been, what you want to do, and just go from there. And if you get ignored, you get ignored. But if not, you're going to make a connection. And
Hmm.
those connections are super, super important. And also just like something for the personal side of things is like make sure you have a good support system, whether that's platonically, romantically, personally, professionally, everything, because this business has weird hours. You're
It does.
working nights, weekends, holidays. You're going to miss birthdays, you're going to miss nights out with your friends, and that's important to people. But there's
Hmm.
still a way to have a work-life balance. It's just going to look different from somebody with a 9 to 5.
Yep.
Um, so to have that good support system also it goes a long way. So you don't feel lonely, you have somebody to lean on, and they can support you and they can understand like, hey, your job is really cool. Like it's okay that you can't come out tonight. We'll see you on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Hmm. Absolutely. Family's key to me because I'm married. I have a beautiful wife, young son. So it's definitely key for me. And I love spending time with both of them. So it's nice. I know you got to do the family work balance. A lot of people do it. And it just amazes me. Like, the Sean McAdams of the world, like having a family, being married, being in this industry forever.
Hmm.
Chris Price, like it's like, how do they do it? Like they've done it for so long and they've built families and they got a great life. It's just, what's their key to success, or what's your key to success? Being still kind of maybe not new in the industry, but you've been at least 10 years plus.
Yeah, I want to mention too, Emily Benjamin of NHL.com. She was very pregnant during the 2019 Stanley Cup run, and she made it look easy. It was effortless on her part, and she just absolutely crushed it. She was a beast in the locker room, just showing up every day. And it's, it is hard. I don't have kids, so I can't speak on that part, but
Mm.
I think it helps too. My husband works in sports. He's a sports producer, so
Oh,
we really
wow. Perfect.
understand this. So it's like we really understand the schedules. We
Yep.
understand like, hey, I'm going to be late tonight, or something went wrong, so I won't make it home for dinner, or we have to reschedule this and that. I'm like, it's okay. Like, and I think a lot of that for me anyway, it's like I mentioned, Rafael Devers can get traded on a random
It
Saturday.
was on Father's Day. That was crazy. That came out of left
It
field.
was on Father's Day, that's
Yeah.
right. And it's just that could uproot your whole day, and you just
Hmm.
have to go with it. So the keys for my success have been being adaptable, being flexible. If thankfully I was thankfully not thankfully I was off when Devers got traded, so I was enjoying a day off, and I was like, oh my God.
McAdam
But
and Cotello, that was it.
yeah, they were. I think that was right after the game, so it's like they're trying to get their post game stuff, and all of a
Yep.
sudden it's like, well, who cares about this now? Who cares about Romy
Throw that out.
Gonzalez going 2 for 3? But Devers just got traded,
Yep.
so there's a lot, and then all of a sudden it's like something like that happens. You got a plan now for your night to just
Hmm.
be uprooted. Like if you had plans, no more. I know Cotillo flew out to San Francisco to go to Devers' welcome presser
He goes
out
everywhere.
there.
It's amazing.
So,
He was just in Chicago too. Like I'll
yep.
text him and it's like he's great. He's a good
He's
guy.
yeah, he is somebody, he works really hard.
He
I
does.
love working with him. I love working alongside him.
Hmm.
He's so great to learn from. And yeah, just being adaptable. Something like a podcast where, oh, maybe someone's not comfortable being on the mic or being on camera. It's like the more reps you do, I promise you will get comfortable. I hated being on camera. I would never have my camera on, but now I'm like, whatever. Like, who cares? Because like I post my pictures on my Instagram, on Twitter, whatever.
Hmm.
So now people just hear my voice. It does not matter. And small things like TikTok and those Instagram reels, like just try to get familiar with a little bit of editing. I do a lot of producing. I use Canva a lot, which is very user
Hmm.
friendly. My editing software is, I do use Premiere, but I also use Wondershare. Very user friendly. It's just keeping your skills fresh, because you just never know when one day someone could be like, "Hey, we're going to all podcasts. Like our entire website will be podcasts." I don't,
That'd be
I don't see that
crazy.
happening,
Yeah.
but like you never know how
Hmm.
something can change at the drop of a hat. So just to be flexible, adaptable, and just like not agreeable, but just be ready for your schedule to get uprooted, and that's okay, because you have a fun job, and that's the life. And it doesn't have to be difficult.
Hmm.
There will be difficult days, of course, but there's so many people out there that are like, wow, I would love to, attend games and be able to work those games, and have my byline on in the Globe, and on any website. So it's been it's been tough to kind of keep up sometimes with the trends, because it's like it's always changing. But
Hmm.
I feel like the more, with podcasts, or even just like with Photoshop or editing, like once you get a feel for it, like the baseline, you can do the more difficult stuff. I'm not saying everyone can go in and just be this fantastic editor and producer. I'm nowhere near that. Like I cannot do that, but I can make something look and sound good, and that's more than I could do when I started. So, just really just kind of like I said earlier, evolving with the business, because this is a business that changes every single year. I feel like there's some new technology, some new this, some new that. So just get ready to keep changing.
No, it makes a lot of sense because I've been at my podcast almost 2 years now, and it's like I'm not like a 21-year-old kid. Like I'm over 30, so it's like, yeah, maybe I'll get noticed, maybe not. I mean, I do it for a hobby. I don't make any money off of it. I It's great. I love hearing people's stories, how they started, and then we just jump into like the current events, and that's just simplicity, I guess, is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. So, I mean, I don't have any graphics on this or anything. It's just kind of basic. It's just like this is almost like almost like a job interview when I do
Yeah,
this with
right.
people. Yeah, like it's almost like a job interview, and I just love speaking to people. So I always appreciate people coming on and doing this. It's just
Mhm.
I don't know if I'll ever get noticed. I mean, yeah, I could talk to Chris or I could talk to this person. Like certain people will just they'll critique it or be like, all right, this is what you got to do. You got to produce so many articles a year to get noticed, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I've done high school stuff. I'm kind of over it. No offense. All due respect to the athletes. It's like, I'm not like a 18, 20-year-old kid to just go cover a high school game for $50. I got a wife and a son. I got a family. I got priorities. I work full time like everybody else.
Yeah.
But people are like, you got to kind of suck it up. And it's like, I've been there, done that.
Yeah, yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's not it's good money for someone who's younger, but
Yeah.
when you have a son to raise and a wife to take care of and a roof over your head,
Hmm.
like you do need a little more instability too. I mean, freelance is I don't know how people do freelance like
Hmm.
full time. I'm like they are the
That's
bravest
crazy.
soldiers. Like that's
Yeah.
they're so and they're great, obviously great at what they do, freelance journalists, but I'm like I could never. I'm too scared. And then that
Hmm.
falls on me. Like that's not enough belief in myself. But I'm like, that's just to not have work, not know if you have work next week. I'm like, oh God, like,
It's good
sure, a
for a
week off sounds
retirement
lovely.
job.
But right. No,
Yeah.
yes,
A
exactly.
retired reporter or retire whatever, or they're
Yeah,
just looking for something to do. Fine.
definitely.
But shifting gears, thank you for sharing your story, by
Mhm.
the way. Shifting gears to the current events. How do you feel about this New England Patriots team playing in 2 days when we're having a blizzard coming here and they're, going to
Wow.
be cold?
Football weather in New England, right?
Yeah.
It's, I mean, if you told me this 6 months ago, I would have laughed. I
Yeah,
think I predicted
I
them to go
agree.
8-9 in the season, and I knew they were going to be better. I think when you bring in Vrabel, you bring back Josh McDaniels, you know what he can
Hmm.
do, and you saw a lot of growth from Drake May last year. So I'm like, he's going to be fine. It's still going to be a growing pains kind of year, but boy, was I very wrong, and I think a
You
lot of
and the
people
rest of
were
us,
wrong.
absolutely.
Yeah. Do I feel better about a potential win because of the Broncos situation with Jarrett
Hmm.
Stidham starting and Bo Nix being out? Of course, I think that would make anyone feel better. I think growing up in New England, we've seen Nick Foles beat the Patriots. We've seen Eli Manning beat the Patriots. We've
Twice.
seen twice. We've seen good teams. Or we've seen teams that are not supposed to beat the Patriots beat them.
Hmm.
So, but I think, the defense, we saw it against the Texans, who have the best defense. That's all we heard all week was
Hmm.
Texans defense, and the Patriots defense didn't even keep them on the field. They were like, we're going to be the star of this show. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think regardless of who the quarterback is for Denver, it's going to be a good game. But I do think, Josh McDaniels worked with Stidham, well, a couple times. So he kind of has the idea. Yes, it's been a few years, but kind of has a better idea of who he is, how he operates. And there's always the altitude thing in Denver.
Hmm.
So Drake May's never played in Denver, never had to deal with the altitude. So that's a little red flag where I'm like, eek, do I think it'll be a game changer? No, I still think the Patriots will ultimately win, but it's really fun to have exciting football in New England again. I know it wasn't that long without it, but it's so fun when the Patriots are good. And I know for Patriots fans, they're loving that the Chiefs are not in the in the
it,
playoffs. They love
it
it
is
even
good in a
more.
way.
So they're like, no Patrick Mahomes, no more Josh Allen now that they're eliminated.
Hmm.
So I know Patriots fans are really loving it. And I think we're in for a good game regardless. I think it's going to be a lot of fun because both teams really want this. And Broncos have a huge chip on their shoulder because of Bo Nix being out. So this could this could be a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, everybody's predicting a blowout, 2010, 21-10. I
Yeah.
mean, seeing what the team's done the past couple of weeks offensively, turnover may, no offense, love Drake, but he just got to contain the turnovers because
Yes.
him just getting hit in the pocket and then Will Campbell giving up, got pass rushers coming, defensive ends. It's like
Yes.
they got to just kind of nip that in the butt. I mean, I'm no coach. I've never played a single snap of football in my life. I love the sport, but
Yeah.
it's just they got to limit the turnovers. Giving up 19 points between the Chargers and the Texans was like nothing. So I just want the offense to keep moving the ball and then just keep slinging it downfield and see what happens.
Yeah, and Will Campbell really needs to have the best game of his life on
Basically.
Sunday. And same Drake May too. He needs to he's had six was it 6 fumbles in 2 games
Something like that.
it's
Three lost. I think
concerning.
you're right. Yeah.
And it's concerning, but it is something that obviously he's aware of, and I do think he can fix that. But he does need help from his guys too, and I think that starts with Will Campbell being just locked in and making sure that he doesn't get beat like he has been in the last 2 games. So really looking at him, and obviously the turnovers from May, but if the defense can do what they did against the Texans, the Broncos might be in for a world of trouble. But I'm with you. I
Hmm.
don't think it'll be a blowout. It's I don't think it'll be a one score, maybe like a 1.5 score game, like
Yeah.
kind of thing, like 10-3. I think it'll be more than that. That's the quick math I can do. No, that's 7 points. That's a one score game. So what, 10-2, like
10-2. A safety and a touchdown and a
safety.
field goal.
Yep. Math is not my thing. Don't ask me to
No,
do
no,
math.
trust
It's
me.
clearly you
Matt's
see I
it
can't
was
do
never
it.
my strong suit either. But
No.
no, I agree. It's just it's a lot on the top five pick from last year, Will Campbell. And I don't know how avid you listen to sports radio, what time you have and stuff, but I'm a big, 98.5 or yeah. I mean, I listen more to 95. But anyways, I think they might have said that he was pouting after the next game or like Vrabel kind of made him put his chin up. I don't know if you heard anything about that. I'm trying to remember what they said, maybe on air or whatever it was, but he really took the last game hard, saying like it was either that, it was the Chargers game. It was one of them. And then Vrabel kind of went off to the side or said, hey, keep your chin up or I'll talk to you later. So, I mean, it
Yeah.
just sucks for a 22, 23-year-old kid to pout, but I get it.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. I totally understand it. I've never been in that position. I will never be in that position. But I mean, what's your thoughts on his headspace heading into like this week, referring back to Will Campbell?
Yeah, I think he needs to just put the last 2 games behind him.
Hmm.
I think he just needs to really focus on the game ahead. And I think Vrabel does a great job really understanding the player as a player and an individual. So he knows what's going to make Will Campbell tick and make him kind of get out of that headspace,
Hmm.
go in with a clear mind. And I'm sure Drake may too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's well liked. Like he seems like a very likable guy. I obviously don't know him personally.
Hmm. It's just
But
what we see.
right. And I feel like he holds himself to a high standard. Of course he does. And he holds himself accountable too. And I think he can prove a lot of people wrong on Sunday. But it's also too, he is a rookie. There will be these kinds of learning curves, but you do want to see more, especially from a first round pick who is there's so much hype around him, and it's a huge spot for him to be in. There will be a lot of pressure, and I'm pretty sure he knows that. These guys, I don't know how online they are, but I'm sure they see at least some of the stuff that
Oh,
people
for
say, and
sure.
I'm sure it can get to their head. Like I read comments sometimes, like, "Oh, that was mean," but whatever. Like it's
Fans are
kind of that,
ruthless,
like
trust me.
they need to just, or he needs to just kind of do that, like whatever, like put it back. I'll deal with it later. I'm just gonna go in there, clear mind. What's it like? Clear eyes, full hearts, can't
Yep.
lose, or whatever. So, like I said, I think Vrabel's a good person to just kind of
For sure.
get him back on track, make sure he doesn't derail himself and get too far in his head. He can really kind of pull the best out of his players, and hopefully we see that on Sunday.
Do you expect, I know, sticking with the game, do you expect Diggs and Booty to really step up this week? And then, second point to that, switching over to the defensive side of the ball, how much do you think they will attack if Carlton Davis plays because he's questionable? How much will they attack the corners between Gonzo or Christian Gonzalez and Carlton Davis? So, just two questions there.
Yeah, I think that they'll have their hands full if everyone plays. I think
Hmm.
they'll really have to figure out who's the most important to kind of make sure that they're they're not going to get to the quarterback. They're not going to get to the running backs, the receivers.
Hmm.
You're going to try to limit them as much as possible. It's going to be difficult the more people, the more defense there is, the more that those three play. And still, I mean, Gonzalez had a great game last week, and offensively, I think I feel like Diggs is due for a monster game. He's been very close to the Super Bowl. I don't think he wants to go home again. I
Yeah.
think he's ready to go to the Super Bowl, and he's 32. I would be ready to go too. And like I said, he's been close to it. He was close to it with the Bills recently. And I think he's ready. And he's had great games. He's been explosive at times, and he's had great chemistry with May. And same with Booty. I think there were so many catches last week where I'm like, how did May even think to throw
Yeah.
to Booty? Like it's incredible what they've been able to do. And I think that they're both ready to take another step, which can be kind of scary to think about because they've been good. But I do think there's another level to untap, and I think we're going to see that from Diggs on Sunday.
I'm just hoping this team wins and advances to the Super Bowl. I know we can't complain as New England Patriots fans, and you cover the teams and stuff. I mean, fans in Cleveland would probably be dying for this right now,
I
but
know.
us, it's
Oh,
been 6 years, whatever it is, or 7 years. I mean, 2019, 2018 season, but 2019, obviously.
yeah, I think that's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, when they beat the Rams 13-3, and that was just a
Yes.
weird Super Bowl, but at least
I
we
won
won.
I won on my Super Bowl squares too. Both my numbers were
Oh,
three. So
wow,
it was a
congrats.
great game for me for a number of
No
reasons.
matter if it
So
was 10-3 or 13-3 or 7-3.
right, I was winning either way.
But
So
no, I'm hoping this team will advance to Santa Clara in a couple weeks, but we will see what happens. Shifting sports here, seeing we got a little time left before Zoom likes to tell me, "Hey, you got 10 minutes left. You're
yep.
running out of time." But anyways, Red Sox. I don't know how much you're into the Red Sox, but obviously I follow them closely too. What do you think of the Ranger Suarez signing? And did they really hit and miss on the Alex Bregman signing with the Cubs? So,
I'll hit on Suarez first. I like the signing. I think
hmm
that he can be a really good addition to this rotation. I would like a bona fide number two. I don't think that's
for
going to
sure.
happen at this point
No,
anymore,
it's
but
too late,
somebody
really, in the offseason.
who's been a proven number two. But I think he'll be good behind Crochet. There's not yes, there's pressure going after Crochet, but you still have, what do they have? I think they have 10 starters right now. So
Yeah,
they're going
way
to make
too
some
much.
difficult decisions, or maybe there's another trade on the horizon. But overall, I like the deal. I don't think it's enough for fans to be like, oh yeah, we're back, we're all in on this team.
hmm
I do think it was a huge miss to miss out on Bregman, especially when they talked so highly of him. They talked about how he brought such great leadership. We heard so much about the leadership he brought, especially to Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer. Yes, he missed a handful of games, like 43 games. Yes, he's had some injuries in the past. And, people were saying, oh, all they had to do was give him the no trade clause. And I see it from both ends. Bregman's 31 or 32. He wants to know where he's going to be for the rest of his career. And I
hmm
think I think every player should be like, he's got kids, he's got a wife, he wants to know where he's going to
Absolutely.
raise his kids for the next few years. And then they can decide together if they want to stay in Chicago, go wherever they want to go. It's not decided for them. Um, 5 years, it's it's weird saying it's a lot for a 31 or 32-year-old because you just who's had the injuries. But I think that the Red Sox should have brought him back because now you're like, well, who plays third? Marcelo Meyer. Okay, who plays second? And everyone's like, oh, well, Christian Campbell maybe, or maybe we can put Rafaela there, but okay, but
Then what
then
happens with the outfield?
then you take him out of the outfield where
It's
he
a
just
misery of that team
it's
right now.
gold glovers that you're going to
Yeah.
put. And I know he's athletic. He can certainly handle it. He's a
Yep.
great infielder as well. But, I just think they have so many questions. And I think they have even more questions now that Bregman certainly is not coming back. I think their whole roster from their lineup to their pitchers, there's so many questions. They still need a lefty out of the bullpen.
hmm
And it's like, why do you have 10 starters? I would drop dead if any team was like, we're going with a 10-man rotation. I would
I
just
hope we
drop dead
never
on the
see that in
spot.
our lifetime.
I never
Anybody's
want to see
lifetime.
that. And they will make hard decisions because what if Tolley and Early have great camps? What if
hmm
they make it very difficult? What if Bayo is struggling? What are you going to do with him? There's just so many questions of who is in this rotation. Then you have Tanner Houck, who I don't think will pitch this year. I think it depends on his recovery. It might be
Yeah.
later in the season, but where is he going to go back to the rotation? Are you going to try to put him in the bullpen again? He needs to find out what his defined role is with
hmm
this team. Just a lot of questions, and it's like maybe the only guaranteed thing is Garrett Crochet being the opening day starter right now. Like you just don't know who your infield is. You can say Wilson Contreras is going to play first base, but that's about it. That'd be my guess. I'm assuming Tristan Casas won't be ready,
Yeah.
and they were not they were not very commitful. I don't think that's a word. They were not very committed
hmm
to playing Casas on opening day. So there's just so many questions, and especially that outfield, Yoshida. Like there's way too many questions for
For
spring
sure.
training starting in like 2 weeks, three
Yeah.
weeks.
Basically, I mean, the first spring training game was, I think, a month from the 20th or whatever it was. It might have been against Northeastern or whatever it is, because obviously
Yeah.
they play the college teams first. But yeah, I really don't know what's going on with this team still. And we're sitting here at what, January 22nd, 23rd, whatever it is now. And it's still a lot of up in the air because they
Yep.
got Sonny Gray, they got Wilson Contreras, they just signed Ranger Suarez. they have depth at pitching, but what concerns me is the offensive side
Yeah.
with the hitting. What are they going
Yes.
to play? Contreras at first every day?
Right.
What's going to happen at Casas, like you said? The outfield's kind of overflown now. It's like I wouldn't, trade Peyton early. Yeah, Jesus. Peyton Tolley and Conley early. Sorry.
Just
I wouldn't.
combine them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Peyton early. There you go. Peyton early. I'm gonna roll with that. But anyways, I wouldn't trade those two young guys because you don't know what's gonna happen with the rotation. You can have Suarez hurt, God
Yeah.
forbid. You can have any of the Crochet. Like
Yeah.
you want to have depth in AAA, but those guys kind of deserve to maybe make the 40-man roster. But do you put Tolley in the bullpen? Do you put early in the bullpen? Like,
Right.
what's your thoughts maybe on the bullpen going forward? Because it seems like it's a lot of nobodies outside of Whitlock and Aroldis Chapman.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions. Like I said earlier, they need a lefty. You know,
Hmm.
they need someone like that out of the bullpen. And much like the rest of this roster, they have a ton of decisions to make about who goes into the bullpen, who makes it, who goes to Worcester. Yes, we saw how much they needed the depth last year, but we also saw, Peyton Tolley, he started the year in high A, and six
He
months
climbed
later
up the ranks quick.
he did very quick, and that's not going to be the case for everyone. Would I have liked him to see him develop a little bit more? Of course, but that there was no choice there. So we did see the importance of the depth, but we also saw how quickly that depth can turn into nothing when you're calling up people because of so many injuries. I would love to see them just everyone stay healthy. That's a big ask of any sport. It's very hard to stay healthy for the entire season.
Absolutely.
Um, but they desperately need a lefty out of the bullpen. I would really like to see that before spring training or just like right at the very beginning so you can get them acclimated with the team. I know that they work out in the off season, but make
Hmm.
sure that they have as much time as possible in spring training with their new teammates. It's just like just go get a lefty because their life could be even more difficult if they don't.
No, absolutely. It's just that team is every year I get hyped for baseball season.
Same.
I love when they all start, but it's just every year I'm disappointed with this team just middling, battling for playoffs, then fall out. Last year they made it to the wild card. I think they should have beat the Yankees, but
Yeah, same.
Cam Slitler got in the way, so it is
He
what it
did.
is.
He
I mean,
did.
he shout out to him, he dominated us. So,
He did. And, he put his money where his mouth was. And
yep.
I just think too, like last year, how fun fans were having
Hmm.
even though it's just a wild card series, how much fun it was to have postseason baseball back with the Red Sox, and like how fans were just happy. The games were on in every bar. You saw people with Red Sox gear every
It was
single
great.
place you went. It was so fun, and I love when it's that kind of atmosphere. And I'm like, so do you not want to do that again this year? Because this is what fans want. They want a good product. You gave them a good product a lot in the second half too with the when
Hmm.
you called up Roman Anthony and Marcelo Myers. So much fun. The young guys are really emerging with Cedon Rafaela, that walk-off home run over the monster. It's just these they don't want to wait for the prospects to develop. They want to be in win now mode. That's not doable every year, but right now
Absolutely.
you absolutely have the pieces to win now. And now it's just a matter of adding a big bat to the lineup, a lefty in the bullpen, and a number two starter. I just fixed the Red Sox. Like, put me in charge.
Yeah, it's crazy, honestly. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with this team this year. Losing Bregman's gonna hurt for sure. Mayer, if he stays healthy, he's gonna probably start at third, and then second base is just up in the air. And what are you gonna have? Romy Gonzalez as your everyday second baseman? I know the guy can play second, first, whatever you need him to play, DH, but I just don't know what's gonna happen with this team. I know it's too early. It's only January. It's not
Right.
October. I get it. I don't know. I'm hoping for positivity out of the team, and I'm hoping they put a great product on the field. But
Yeah.
it's unfortunate. I'm sick of the middling Red Sox. Like it's been too long since we won, and it wasn't that long ago, but
No, that's 2018. You could have told me
seven,
that
eight
was
years
20
ago.
years ago at this point.
I know, just the way the team's been playing with the whole chorus suspension, then Ron Renicky took over, and then back and
Oh,
forth. And but no, I appreciate it, Lauren, you
of
joining me and
course.
speaking about your career, and I wish you the best of luck. And
Thank you.
it was great talking Patriots and Red Sox with you as well.
Yeah, you too. And if I can be of any help to you or anyone, please let me know. I'm pretty reachable. I mean, I'm pretty reachable. So,
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.